I've got a great product here which I think everyone should at least know about. It's a dressing product. Now, dressings usually come in a liquid or a sprayable format of some sort, and they are to be applied to your car's plastics and rubber trim to help to darken them, to help basically de-age your car a little bit, you know, return them back to their young looking state. But like I say, because they're often liquids, it's a little bit different. It can spray, it can sling, it can run. It's entirely possible it can do all those things. I have a product here today which is completely different because it's a wax. So this is Infinity Wax Rubber Wax, although I think they've actually changed the name of it now. I think it's called Plastic and Rubber Wax. That's fair enough. You use it on your plastics and your rubber. It wasn't just for your rubber. Now, I really like this product. I've been using it for a while. As you could see there, I have used some of it. Not loads, but some of it. That's the nice thing about this product. Because it's a wax, you don't need a lot. Also, it also smells great. I can't quite place it, but it smells really nice. Which is a pleasure. Like I said, a product which is a pleasure to use is one you're going to use again and again. I really like it. Drawback to this one, slight note, doesn't come with any instructions or labels or anything at all, just comes like that. So if I grab my phone here, I have some of the information which I took off the website, and I will read to you now. What they state about this wax is that because it's a wax, it doesn't sling. Go away, I get messages. Sorry, I'm popular. It doesn't sling, which is really nice, so it won't run anywhere. Because it's a wax, it won't go anywhere except where you put it, which makes it very, very easy to use. Also, because it's a wax, it beads water and repels water really well. I've tested this. I tried it on one of my vehicles at work, and it worked great actually. I did post a picture. I might put a picture here for you. It was the wing mirror of one of the work vehicles, and it was beading incredibly well. They say it restores the look of your plastics and rubber to an original equipment manufacturer effect. That's cool. And it's free from harmful chemicals. This is very, very interesting. I'm not quite sure how they went about that, but that's good, obviously. If it's safe for you, we like that. What they're saying is that it's a one-of-a-kind tire and trim restorer, hence why it's got a tire tread on the label there. And it's the only one designed specifically for plastic and rubber substrates. So it's very, very easy to go on. It lasts a while as well. It has a unique SiO2 wax formulation. It's a softer wax, not a hard wax like some of the ones you'd find for your paintwork. But the nice thing about this is, once you apply it to your plastics and your rubber, you don't have to do anything else to it. It's not like a wax where you would buff it off afterwards. It's not one that you have to worry about removing residue either. You literally apply this and walk away. Give it 15 minutes and it's ready to go. It's done. So I've got my old Kia here. We're going to find some of the plastics and rubber. I've also cleaned one of the tires up front, and we're going to try it as a tire dressing as well. So let's go check this out. Alright, so this is an old car with old plastics. Some of it's faded. I'm not entirely sure what half of this is, but it's been cleaned. I've gone over it with a degreaser, an all-purpose cleaner, to get rid of everything on it. So it is clean, and there's dust, and I've just washed this car. Thanks, great. Okay, so to apply this, I'm just using this. This is a piece of yellow car wash sponge, which I've just chopped off. I don't use sponges for cleaning the car, in case anyone points it out, just for applying products like dressings and things like that. So, oh, it still smells so good. So like I say, it's a soft wax, so you would be able to put your thumb into this actually. So be very careful with it. Don't press too hard. There it is on the sponge there. So let's just wipe this around. I've used this before, I know what it's like. But that's the nice thing, you saw I barely dabbed any amount onto it at all. and it just spreads. It's a very, very easy product to spread around, and it only goes where I want it to go. It's not like a liquid product where I might find it running away from me. It's not a spray product where I've got overspray all over the place. So it really just goes where you want it to go. Now obviously this is a big piece of sponge. I've managed to get some on the edge of the trim there, of the paintwork. That's okay because it's wax, so it'll come right off. That's the nice thing about it. I did actually send a message to them a while ago saying, what would happen if you used this on your paintwork and applied it as a wax on your paint? And they said, yeah, well, it'll make the car look nice, but it won't really last any amount of time because it doesn't have any of the things you would normally find in a normal car wax to stick to paint. So it wouldn't hang around, but it certainly wouldn't cause any issues either. That's the thing I like about it. So you're not having to worry about overspray or over application, things like that. It's just going to buff right off. So there you go. Now that is fully applied, and now it's nice and dark again. Let's move on to some rubber. Actually, before I move on to rubber, let's just buff off this little bit of over application of wax. You can see that I'm not even trying, it just wipes right off. Easy. Okay, now we'll move to rubber. So I've got some rubber around the edges of the windows here. This rubber trim around the windows. I love it. It just sticks. You see an instant change. Let's get some of this. I don't even know if this is maybe a metal piece or a plastic piece. I'm not sure. I've also got that little bit of rubber there. Now, as you can see, I am over applying it. It's going onto the glass. Again, not a problem because it doesn't stick. Let's get round there on this rubber here. I don't care. I just love the fact that I just don't care that it goes onto the glass because it's just a wax. It won't stick around. There we go. And again, we'll grab this microfiber and just wipe along the edges of the glass, and the wax just comes straight off. Doesn't require hard buffing, work with glass cleaner, anything like that. It just wipes off the glass. Super simple and easy. If you want to go over it again, if you feel like you haven't done enough there, just go back. I don't have to buff this off. I don't have to wipe the residue, that's what I'm trying to say. I'm just literally taking off the little bits on the glass along the edge there, and that's it. Super simple. Let's try another bit. Alright, so let's get round this section of the A-pillar, the wing mirror here, and I just love the fact that you just don't need much at all. I'm barely dipping it, I'm barely dabbing it onto the wax, and it just spreads so easily. Probably sound like a massive fan because I really am. I love this product. Around the other side there. Alright, now this is the bit I'm really not looking forward to doing. This is very faded old plastic here on the front of the car. So, flip my wipers out the way. I don't know how well it's going to deal with this. This is a tall order for any trim treatment that's like this, rather than, you know, a real full-on trim restorer, but they say it restores it, so let's give it a bash and try it. Okay. Okay. I tried this with my last car, the Fiesta, and it worked pretty well, but the plastics weren't as badly faded as this. This is doing a fantastic job. I still haven't re-dabbed my piece of sponge. I'm still able to spread it all around here, and it's sticking and it's darkening all of these plastics. This is fantastic. Now I'm not sure if it's going to work on the wiper here because this is a mixture of metal and plastics here, but hey, let's give it a try. Well, it seems to be working, that's for sure. It is working on the whole wiper arm, metal included. I'm not sure how long it'll last on metal because it's not, I don't know if it's designed to bond with metal. But there's a difference. I'm gonna put this wax down now and we're gonna have a look at a 50-50 situation. So this is the treated section, nice and dark, and then the untreated section, which is all pale and grey. Let's bring you out now, see if we can see that on the camera. Alright, there's treated, untreated. Wow. That's a massive difference looking at them there. That is huge. Look at that. Let's bring you right out. That's phenomenal. That's just a wax. So I'm on a roll here. Let's keep going. This this wiper arm here, this is the back wiper arm. The blade is relatively new, but this part of the arm is old. This is where the blade fits into the arm. So this bit is the old bit, this bit is the new bit, but let's see how much restoring the wax can do. It still actually does darken the new part of the wiper, the new blade, but it does also definitely restore the old one, and it definitely darkens it and makes it look nice and uniform actually. Fantastic stuff. Let's move on to the last bit that I want to show. So the last section I want to show is this diffuser along the back. It's a stupid thing for a Kia Rio, but it's there nonetheless, and it's made of plastic, and it does fade over time. So let's try with a few swipes of the wax to get some darkening on this. Now I hope you guys can see it. I don't know, I can see it with my eyes, but my screen is not very good. Is that the middle bit there? Yep, right there. There. I have to point over here. Right there, that is the line showing the side which has had this wax applied and the side which hasn't. So hopefully you can see a difference there as I zoom out between the applied and unapplied side. Alright, so when it comes to the tire, I do have one slight grievance about the wax, and that is that because it's a wax, you have all of this detail, all of these lines, these grooves in the detail of the design of the tire, and being a wax, it doesn't quite get in there as well as perhaps some liquid products. It does get there, and this is the only drawback that I have found, is that when I'm using this on tires, it doesn't quite as easily get in there. If you've got a tire which doesn't have much of this groove and design nonsense around the tire, I don't know why they're not just smooth. Maybe somebody can answer in the comments if you know why there's so many of these grooves, if it's just to make the text stand out or something, I don't know. But here I've loaded up the piece of sponge, a bit more wax than I normally would use for the rest of the panels of the car, but that's just because this is a much bigger area to cover. Alright, another drawback. The design on the rubber tires is so sharp that it's actually chewing up my sponge. It's leaving all these little bits of sponge. Alright, maybe there's a better way to apply it to tires. You know, dedicated tire applicators are still basically sponge based. So, I don't know. Maybe Michael and the team at Infinity Wax can enlighten me on the best way to apply this to tires without chewing up foam applicators. That being said though, this tire is looking very, very nice, apart from all the little bits of sponge. But I'll get a bristle brush and I'll just brush those off, and then we can stand back and admire the tire. Now that looks like a fresh tire. It looks really nice. The wax is not making it too shiny. If you like a shiny tire, then you might want to try a different dressing. But it looks really, really natural. It looks like a brand new tire. All the smooth parts are nice. The text has come up nice and flat. Just these bits of sponge really is the only drawback, but they can be brushed off. But that looks like a really nice, fresh looking tire. Now I want to show you, I was talking about the repellency of the wax. I'm going to grab some water now and show you the tire's water behavior. That tire is just beading water. It's not letting the water stick to the tire at all. The wax is pushing it off. Let's try that with the black trim as well. I'll show you what it does on black trim. So there you go, it is just beading any water away. Rubber window trim. Let's walk over there and check out this bit. The rubber is now more repellent than any of the rest of the car. Let's move up to the last bit, or maybe the first bit that we did. Right there. So the verdict. I think I pretty much told you what I felt about it through the entire video. I really like this stuff. It smells good. It's good value for money because you don't use a lot. It's barely moved since I've been using it, and that's a nice thing about it. And it's very easy to spread, so you use such a little amount. This tub should last you a very long time. Cost wise, I paid about, I want to say about 13 or 14 pounds for this tub. That's not a lot of money when you consider how much it does, how far it goes, how easy it is to spread, and how well it works. It really repels water, and it does restore plastics you saw on the front of the car there, that very grey panel below the windscreen turned a nice dark black, or very dark grey. So it certainly took some years, some age off the car. It's a fantastic product. Drawback was applying it to tires. I don't know the best way to go about applying it to tires. Perhaps dabbing would be the next method to do. Not entirely sure. I'll be sure to chase up with Michael about that. But if you guys are interested, I think it's definitely worthwhile trying. Like I said, they've changed the label and they've changed the name of the product recently. Like I said, I think it's now called Plastic and Rubber Wax. But it's exactly the same wax. It's the same stuff. Still great stuff, and it's different. You know, if you go and buy liquid trim dressings, whether they are sprayable or the kind you would tip onto a cloth or something, this doesn't have any of the fuss. There's no running of product, there's no dripping, there's no overspray, and like you saw, if you apply this accidentally onto the glass, onto the paint, it just wipes straight off. So it's a very versatile product and very easy to use. It goes a long way. It's certainly very different. I like different things, so I think it's an absolute cracker of a product. I've given that the thumbs up for sure. Anyway, if you like this video, if you found it useful or helpful in any way, then please go ahead and like the video. Also consider subscribing to the channel, and if you do, ring the bell so you won't miss my next video upload. Thank you very much for watching. I've been Specky. I will see you in the next video.